A total lunar eclipse is set to turn the moon red tonight for the last time until 2025. A total lunar eclipse occurs when the moon, earth and sun line up during a full moon and the earth blocks any sunlight from reaching the moon, and the light is bent through the earth's atmosphere, casting a reddish hue over the moon. But what does this mean and what does it symbolise in the realms of Mātauranga Māori? Here to give us some insights is renowned Māori astronomer Ao Tapatahi no te aroa te Mahurehure, who's with us now. Tēnā koe te rangatira, thank you for joining us.
Kia ora, tēnā koe, tēnā hoki koutou e hakarongo mai ana.
Now, what can you share with us about how our ancestors viewed a lunar eclipse? What did they see them as?
Well, they they had these curious names for them. One of the names for that blood moon was called Marama Kūtia, or Kua mate te marama. And so they would say, Kua mate te marama, but it didn't affect anything like in terms of our growing kai and planting. So our gardens went down, usually go down on the Oturu moon. So yesterday they planted thousands of the kumara tupu at home. And so you avoid this matenga te marama, as they call it, is Marama Kūtia, and those sorts of happenings too with the marama. So we usually avoid the rākau nui days, and we plant the day before on the Oturu moon.
Well, is it any particular time of the year? Is it seen as something towards autumn, summer, winter? Any particular time?
No, well, that we didn't have a lot to do with those tiro the marama. We just used those the star risings, the puanga matariki, and the starts of the new year, and followed the rising patterns of those stars to guide us in when we do things in the mahina kai and the awawa, and also when the fish and the tuna would migrate. But very little on around the full moon, because most of the full moon activities e tahi o ngā ika me ngā tuna e piri ana, e hunana i owara, hiding from that full moon. So there wasn't a lot of activity around those full moons apart from just tiro.
So are these seen as generally good periods of time, bad periods of time to the maramataka? And how long do they generally last?
Well, it depends who you're listening to, because when you're growing up as a little mokopuna, you get all these spooky stories told to you by these old people, and I think it's just to scare us a bit, to make us be aware. And then you hear those stories about Rona getting cheeky to the moon and then being snapped up by the moon. But it's also being aware, kahananga hihiri, they used to call it. So it's the time of the around those full moon where the energy around the moon, what they call ngā hiringa, o te marama, is very strong, and you can see it in the reaction of the cattle especially, they go bonkers. And people go bonkers, and then when you add all those spooky stories they tell us about that time of those lunar phases, it gets pretty scary when you're a little fly and chill after when you grow up and you realise, there's all hocus pocus stuff.
Because as we know, the moon, along with the sun, is essential to our survival.
Yeah.
So the full eclipse tonight will be visible for almost an hour and a half between 11:16 p.m. and 12:41 a.m. Of course, if you can see it, if it's a cloud-free evening. Yeah. How can whānau get the best view?
Probably do a big long karakia to clear the clouds away tonight. Especially up here, you won't see anything. It'll be just black clouds all over the place. So advice to whānau, if they want to see that Marama Kūtia, have a good karakia ready. He whakawā te rangi.
Yeah, beautiful. Ao Tapatahi, thank you so much for joining us today. Tēnā koe te rangatira ngā mihi.
Ngā mihi nui.